Alright. Let's get her going. It occurs to me I've not opened the game. That is easily remedied. That's an easy fix. How's it going, people? Hello, Toaster, Waffle. How's it going? I see, I did see your post about the banana sludge. And, pass. But thanks for the offer. Hi, Dad. I don't know why you guys started calling me Dad. I don't know where this came from. But, sure. Greatest turning cross. Me. Alright, I'm ready. I think. This has to go here. Right, or did I put it on the left or the right? I can solve this dilemma by checking the VOD, which is right here. I'm blind, there it is. I put it on the left. There was a reason I moved it from the right side. What was that reason? What was that reason? I don't know. We're putting it on the left. It's the best place I can think of. It's fine. Capcom logo activates my fight or flight. Your family is being held hostage by Capcom, so that makes sense. That tracks. Oh yeah, I forgot that. I really like this feature. It's really like a non-feature. It's just a nice little thing they do. I really like when you open up the game, the background for the title screen is whatever location you were last at in the game. And I really like that. Kind of a nice way to track your progress every time you open up the game. Yes, we're at the trial. And also, I've mentioned this before, but I'm going to say it again. The fact that this game breaks the investigation trial sequence that, like, every game had before Spirit of Justice, super nice. That rigidity was not doing them favors. You've declined the banana sludge, but do you understand the banana sludge? Also, no. It's a mystery to me, and I don't want it as a result. And even if I did understand it, I probably wouldn't like it. But once again, thank you for the offer. 22nd of February, 9:23 a.m. The Old Bailey Defendants Antechamber. It's just the one, so I guess there's no need to put a number after that. It's pre-bred? Okay, that makes sense. I kind of figured, but I wasn't sure. The Old Bailey. This place always makes me feel strange in my pants. I seem to get chills down my spine and break out in a nervous sweat all at the same time. Well, I didn't think I'd be back here so soon. Every time. Who's this? This Gregson? That's my line. Oh, no, it's Natsume. Good morning! Ah, good morning, Mr. Natsume. It was only 2 days ago that I was declared not guilty here. Yes, we somehow managed to prove he didn't stab Miss Green in the back. But now this! Another morning, another murder, and here I am again in this hellhole! Can't keep coming to court! I'm beginning to think he's right. It really does seem as though he's cursed. Mr. Naruhodo, I'm afraid I had bad news. Oh. It's in my throat. Mr. Natsume, good morning. Yes, morning. So, here we are again. Yes, again. Awkward. Judicial Assistant Miss Mikotoba Esquires, what's the bad news? Oh dear, you heard, did you? If you come in shouting at the top of your voice, people can't help hearing what you say. Oh, I am sorry. You've done nothing wrong, Miss Usada. Now, what is it? Excuse me. In the wise words of Krieg, stop screaming! Well,
it seems that the prosecution in today's trial will be led by Lord Beric Van Zieks.
Van Zieks? Who the fuck is that? Ah! Oh no, oh no, no, no. Since today's the last day of Pride Month, I will say this. What are you gonna say, Waffle? We're waiting with bated breath. You really want to... Hang on, I have a button for this. Let me find it. One sec. No, I didn't mean to click. One sec. Hang on. Nope, it's worth it. The bit is worth it. The bit's worth it. Hey, but hang on. Hang on. Everybody hold on. Okay. Hopefully this works. I really want to... with cute anime boys.
This house is a fucking nightmare!
Agreed. Alright, anyways. Good to know. Yeah, the Mr. Vampire. The so-called Reaper of the Bailey, the most legendary prosecutor in the land. In the trial 2 days ago, he pursued Soseki-san and I relentlessly. This is the most dysfunctional family I've ever been a part of. Of course, by the skin of our teeth, we managed to pull through, but still.
Perhaps Mr. Natsume's acquittal in the last trial wasn't the end of the matter. After all,
Yes, I know what you're thinking. A legend of the Reaper that says... nothing can save a person in the dock when Lord Van Zieks is the prosecutor. Oh no!
that even if that person is found not guilty, the accused will meet a mysterious end one way or another.
And we've experienced it firsthand. The man we successfully defended met the most terrifying end after his acquittal, right here in the Old Bailey. Ah, do I have to put up with those ice-cold eyes boring into my soul again? Cursed by evil spirits and now by the Reaper! Pair of petrifying perils, potentially!
Well, if it's potentially, at least you appear to have hope, Mr. Natsume.
Locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire! Yeah? I'm innocent! You have to believe me! You more than anyone now. Don't worry. I'll be your steadfast ally every step of the way in this battle. I promise. And this promises to be a hard battle, I fear. Oh boy.
Well, the trial is scheduled to begin shortly. We should move into the courtroom.
Let's go.
Oh yes, I forgot to say. I'm afraid he won't be able to make it. Mr. Sholmes, I mean.
That's probably for the best.
Oh,
If he were here, I might be tempted to rely on his help. And that could be seen as a weakness. If Lord Van Zieks were to notice, he'd prey on it mercilessly. At least, that's my gut feeling.
Mr. Naruhodo.
You're right. Yes, you're so right. Oh, well said, locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. Well said. I swear on the sword of my side and on the spirit of Kazuma that it harbors. I'll show him what a Japanese lawyer can do. I'll set you free. With honor.
Oh yes.
It was a weird response to that statement.
Oh yes.
22nd of February, 9:40 a.m. The Old Bailey courtroom. Oh God, so many voices. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. I gotta find his voice again. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and chance to declare the willingness to proceed. Yeah, very Mario response.
Oh yes.
Ah, there he is. The prosecution is ready. The defense is ready, my lord. Readiness for the trial, my learned Nipponese friend, is not what the defense needs. What you need is readiness for your inevitable defeat. Come on, a little strong, Mr. Van Zieks. It's not just my imagination, it's really there. Lord Van Zieks has such an animosity towards us Japanese for some reason. Yeah, because he's racist. It's a plot point. Oh, I have to move my camera slightly more up. He's always talking about how we're fucking uneducated and stupid and smelly. And we have tiny penises. That maybe not that last one. Yeah, he's a white man in the Middle Ages. Fucking, what do you expect?
It was some time ago now that he first became known as the Reaper of the Bailey, I believe. These past few years, he hasn't appeared in court at all.
And now he's back in the courtroom. But for some reason, only when I'm defending. This Reaper, with his curious disdain for us Japanese, is a prosecutor shrouded in mystery. Still, this isn't the time to be pondering that. I have to concentrate on Soseki-san's trial. Wasn't there like a very human reason for it? I don't think we ever learned. I'm presuming we're gonna learn in this game. But I don't remember him ever explaining his reasons for it. He eventually got to the point where he like kind of respected us. That I remember. In typical Ace Attorney prosecutor fashion. We did learn a bit about it? Ah, fuck, I don't remember. I'd have to rewatch the VODs, which I still haven't done.
Furthermore, I now call upon the 6 ladies and gentlemen of the jury. You have been chosen at random to represent the will of the people in this trial. Are you ready to fulfill your duty?
Oh god, it's this guy again. What was his voice? I think it was just like a British guy. That's it.
Absolutely. I had a feeling this Larkin wasn't a...
This Larrikin? What the fuck is that?
Get the fuck out of there!
Yeah.
This Larkin wasn't innocent before.
I must say that I feel especially ruthless on days when my hat refuses to sit right.
Oh, these are all the same people. Oh, what was yours? He was like robotic, right? Oh, well, I rather like how you're wearing your hat. I think that this ruthless look is very fetching, actually. You're new. Larrikin is an Australian English term meaning a mischievous young person, an uncultivated, rowdy but good-hearted person, or a person who acts with apparent disregard for social or political conventions. Oh, okay. Is he supposed to be Australian?
I need to be somewhere at 10 o'clock. I have a very important meeting. Let's make this quick.
What was your voice again? I couldn't agree more. I need to take home 5 bob tonight, or the missus will go through the roof.
I remember.
Oh, may the Lord show us all the light here and lead his flock to a righteous verdict.
Oh yeah, go check on the pre-bred. Very important.
The British jury system is so very different to our own, isn't it? It's quite extraordinary to think that the power of judgment is in the hands of 6 members of the public, and that the judge can only pass sentence when all jurors are in agreement about the defendant's guilt.
6 citizens of London, chosen at random. Or at least, that's the idea.
The prosecution would draw attention to the fact that the accused was on trial here but 2 days ago. Accordingly, where possible, the same jurors have been asked to return for duty today.
Oh, how nice of you.
We didn't want to make 6 more character models. That was a lot of work. Very well, let us commence the trial. Lord Van Zeeks, your opening statement, please. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, it is not the intent of the prosecution to cast doubt over your past decision. However, the innocent verdict afforded to this eccentric Nipponese before has had dire consequences. Allow me to JoJo pose for a second. Did the accused repent for his wrongdoing in that affair? Far from it. Oh, instead he used his freedom to perpetrate a most blood-curdling crime. Namely, that of the attempted murder of his neighboring lodger, an innocent Englishman. To explain the circumstances of the crime, the prosecution calls its first witness to the stand. I'm getting rid of it early, it's hot in here. The detective responsible for investigating the scene, and the accused himself. Which I believe is illegal in actual, like, law practices. The defendant can't be on the stand, or something like that. They're not supposed to be. Why is this dude stancing up all the time? He's a little very glorified debate team member. I think this is the man that, like, Hirohiki Araki was, like, going through history trying to figure out what to write next, and we learned about this guy and was like, yes, I got it.
This is the guy. And then he made JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Witnesses, your names and occupations, please.
Yes, sir. Tobias Gregson, Detective Inspector at Scotland Yard's Homicide Division.
Soseki Natsume from the Empire of Japan. My government ordered me to come here as a student to study your language and culture.
Mr. Natsume. Yes, my lord, sir. I'm quite sure I'm not mistaken. But you swore an oath never to set foot in my courtroom again. I remember it as if it were yesterday.
The day before, in fact, my lord, but close enough. Believe me, this is the last place I want to be. Inspector, let's hear from you first. Explain the case for the court.
Right you are, sir. So this fucking idiot, the incident occurred at the Garadep household where the defendant has lodgings. In the ground floor room of the victim, Mr. William Shamspeare.
Still gets me.
The defendant has already admitted to visiting this victim on the night in question. Mr. Shamspeare collapsed in his room as a result of poisoning by strychnine, you got it. He was found the following morning when the landlord, suspecting something was wrong, broke down the door.
This means I presume that the door to the victim's room was locked at the time of the incident. Correct, my lord. It was locked from the inside, making entry to or exit from the room impossible.
Although the victim, Mr. Shamspeare, lives to tell the tale, he very nearly didn't. The man was halfway to heaven when we first found him. I was the first officer on the scene, my lord. And I have a photographic print here that I took at the time to show how it looked. He was eating a bar of soap. What a fucking loon.
Yes, a chilling scene indeed. The man looks very much deceased.
That's right. Everyone present believed that's exactly what he was.
Very well, I shall accept this photographic print as evidence for the court. Alright, let's take a look at that real fast. Anything interesting? As I take a bite of my muffin. Because I have a muffin, because I was peckish. There's a very clear stain here that I've noticed. Kind of hidden behind my my camera. As you can see it there. Oh, one sec. I have my hotkeys are mixed up on this. I forgot that I put. Yeah, there we go. That mutes my mix it up. I didn't want it to. You have a question? I potentially have an answer. Whoops. What the hell is this? Is this just something that's on the front of his hat? Or is that like a book? I actually can't tell. Did I poop today? I don't think I did. Which I take as a personal L. Okay. There's also a boarded up hole in the wall over there. I am shitless.
Oh, then, Mr. Natsume.
Yes.
Ask the defendant to have anything to say at this juncture.
I didn't kill him? That would probably be a good start. They're haunted by evil spirits.
Good gracious, what's haunted?
What does that mean? My lodgings! There's been a whole series of strange happenings in my lodgings! The tenant before me died in mysterious circumstances. A woman was stabbed by no one on the street outside. My neighbor was poisoned. And me! What about me? I've nearly been killed countless times.
Killed, Mr. Natsume? How?
Even on that fateful night it happened. When I returned from Mr. Shamspeare's room, I lit my gas stove and climbed into bed, but before long, the stove went out and somebody tried to kill me.
You must always extinguish all fires before retiring for the night, Mr. Natsume.
But it's so cold! My runny nose would freeze. The point is, I didn't poison my neighbor. Oh, why am I being accused of this? Why is my existence so cursed?
Alright, shut up. Thank you, witnesses. I believe I have a reasonably clear picture of events.
If I could raise one more point, my lord. One more conclusive point.
Conclusive? Go on.
Fortunately, the victim, Mr. Shamspear, has regained consciousness after his ordeal, and he has named the true culprit. Is he gonna say Saseki? I'd be crazy. The poison consumed by the victim was administered in a cup of tea that he drank on the night in question. Tea, my lord, that was brought to the victim's room by the accused.
The accused? Good grief!
Great start, as usual.
Order! Order!
Yes, that's the crux of this whole case. If Saseki-san is innocent, then why? Why has the victim accused him?
Well, Mr. Natsume, what have you to say to this accusation?
That evening, yes, I did take some freshly brewed tea with me when I visited Mr. Shamspear's room as a gift. The public water pump outside always freezes at night, so I bought bottled water especially to make it. Is bottled water a thing in this time period? Maybe, I don't know. And this is the result. Never will I touch tea again. Never! The public pump was frozen, you say?
That's not information we've heard before.
That will do, thank you. Now, according to our laws, the defense must have the opportunity to cross-examine witnesses at least once. Therefore, I call upon these witnesses now for a formal testimony. I presume the prosecution has no objection?
None whatsoever, my lord.
Good. Then we'll give your account of events on the night in question to the court now.
Yes, my lord! You. A catastrophic night. It was around 9 o'clock that evening when I visited my neighbor and I took some tea with me as a gift. We had a heated literary debate over a nice hot drink, after which I went back to my room at around 11. First instance of bottled water was 1622. Alright, so by a good 200 years it was already invented. How about that? Ah, my tea was completely harmless. He couldn't have locked the door behind me otherwise, couldn't he? Strychnine takes some time to have an effect on the body. People don't kill over immediately after taking it. The victim would have been perfectly able to lock the door after his guest left. The argument still stands.
Yes, I see. It all seems relatively straightforward.
Excuse me, but that's fucking bullshit. I mean, the testimony does raise one rather crucial point, I think. Mr. Natsume claims his tea to have been harmless. Presumably, though, the teacups have been examined for traces of the poison, haven't they?
Why didn't I think of that? Well, as it happens, no. We have been able to.
Did I hear you correctly, Inspector? Scotland Yard has failed to examine the suspect's substance.
It was a medical remedy up to the 1900s. Oh. Bottled water. I guess that kind of makes sense, right? Because your options were like well water and whatever water that was in like streams and rivers and shit. So if it was like pure and bottled, then it'd probably be more healthy. I can see it. How could you have overlooked something so important? Isn't that the first thing you should have done? My learned Nipponese friend is falsely incensed. God damn it. The inspector said Scotland Yard was unable to examine the tea, not that it was overlooked. Unable? Why? It's simple enough. There was none left. Not a drop. Someone must have been very thirsty indeed. With current scientific techniques, it's not possible to test for poison under such circumstances. We only need a drop, but that one drop does actually have to exist, funnily enough. Forgot what I was doing and procured a bagel. Hey, that's an improvement. Lack of examination notwithstanding, it appears nothing other than the tea passed the victim's lips on the night in question.
I see, thank you. The matter is clear.
Cast your eyes over the jury, my learned friend. What?
You can see it in their faces, I'm sure. The recognition of the accused's guilt. Your client's fate is all but sealed. In mere moments from now, you will lose, and your compatriot will be damned for all eternity.
He's right. I can feel all 6 of the jurors looking daggers at me. Owie. But I can't let them beat me down. I won't.
Counsel for the defense, proceed with your cross-examination.
Yes, my lord. Objection! Your client is a bitch, and so are you. L plus ratio. A catastrophic night. Okay, so what do we have in the evidence? We have, right, the lawyer... Evidence of being a lawyer, that we always have. Oh, we got the secondhand book receipt, for some reason. Time on this might be important. Nearby street map. I'm hoping this doesn't come up again, but it might. Oops. Torn off end of envelope. I don't think we ever looked at. But there was really nothing to look at. Okay. Got a bar of soap. This is the one that has the weird... Oh! It's gone! What the fuck? Oh.
What is it, Mr. Naruto?
This bar of soap. When we first found it, I could have sworn there was some sort of round disc in this depression just here. A reddish one.
Yes, you're right. I remember it too. But now, the depression is completely empty.
Where could the disc have gone? Huh. Did it melt? Was it like temperature activated? Is that going to come into play? Take a look at this. Anything on the bottom? Ah! One of these has a rim of leftover Substance, and one of them does not. This must be the cup that Mr. Shakespeare was drinking from then. It's stained on the inside.
Tea does that, I'm afraid. Even green tea.
Oh, really? I've never noticed before.
You've never noticed?
Well, I've never left it in the cup long enough to leave a mark. I like to gulp it down. Drink tea while it's hot. That's the Japanese way, isn't it?
Oh dear, so many people seem to have the wrong idea about our culture. And most of them are Japanese.
Har 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 har. Alright, let me look in here.
This is the teacup from which Mr. Natsume was drinking.
Yes, unlike the other one, the inside of the cup is completely clean.
I suppose you must have drunk the contents before the tea had a chance to leave a mark.
I always gulp it down, too.
Sorry, Mr. Naruto?
Well, if you just sip it little by little, it goes cold.
Clearly, I shall have to instruct you in the proper way to take tea.
There we go. That's what I was hoping for. That to update. Okay. Oh, but you can also see a lip from, or a mark from where their lips hit the cup. So I'm putting it together here. Soseki takes his tea, drinks it immediately. Shakespeare takes his tea, doesn't, lets the tea sit for a while. Something in the tea is allowed to break down, possibly the medallion. Well, no, the medallion was when we got it, but maybe like another medallion in one of the other bars of soap was in there. It melted in, then he drank it, poisoned himself. Some sort of temperature activated thing is what I'm thinking currently. It's my current theory. All right, there's that, and this we've already seen. So let's see what else we got. Nice hot drink. Back to his room around 11. Lock the door, guest left, the argument still stands. Okay, I'm gonna press the second one here. Is the temperature might come into play, and also the time.
Hold it!
A literary debate. That's not at all what I wanted to learn more about. Thank you, Rinosuke. A literary debate about Shakespeare's works, I think you said, didn't you?
Shakespeare? A very worthy topic of conversation, I must say.
Oh, yes, my lord. Romeo and Juliet, who was stronger? It was a profoundly pleasurable parley.
Romeo and Juliet?
Who was stronger? I know I'm going to regret asking this, but how did the debate go? Well, we both argued that we would reach a conclusion more quickly with a reenactment. So we battled it out, in a Greco-Roman style, naturally. What? Mr. Shamspeare had all sorts of costumes in his room for just such a contest. So when you say a reenactment, you mean you were actually in costume? Juliet would kick Romeo's ass. I don't think I've ever read it, so I have no frame of reference. He as Romeo, I as Juliet, and after a vigorous wild tussle, the costumes came off and a night of passion ensued. I mean, I as Juliet came out on top, a victory I'll cherish forever.
I dare not imagine the terrible scene of carnage.
The fact remains that it was you who prepared the tea and took it to the victim, correct? I boiled the water in my room and made a pot to take with me. I'd heard that he was too poor to have tea himself, you see. It's true, there was no sign of any tea leaves in the man's room. The writers agree, Juliet wins. But what about in a rap battle? I wanted to do something nice, to be friendly. So why is everyone looking at me with such suspicion? My tea was harmless, of course it was.
And do you have any basis for that statement, witness?
Okay, probably pressing this will get me more information here. Yes, there was not a drop of tea left in the victim's room anywhere, was there? That's correct. Anyone would think the fellow had never had a pot of tea before. He must have licked it dry. Which is a pity, because one drop is all we would have needed to analyze it for poison. And you say that you returned home to your room at 11 o'clock, Mr. Natsume. Yes, definitely! By heaven and earth, I swear it! The landlord was able to verify that as it happens. He confirmed that the defendant went back to his room at 11 that night.
And how was the landlord able to attest to this?
He, said it was the lamps, I believe.
The lamps, Inspector?
When tenants return to their rooms and start using gas, the lamps in other parts of the house flicker.
Yes, Mr. Garrett seems to pay a lot of attention to the comings and goings of his tenants. Like a real nosy Nancy.
There's only one key to Mr. Shamspeare's room. I know that for certain. So he must have locked the door himself from inside his room. The victim has confirmed that to be the case, yes. So I'm right! My tea was harmless, completely harmless. If you take poison, you die. Everyone knows that. It's not that simple, I'm afraid. Oh, well, what do you mean? Okay, wow, I'm getting no fucking information here. Alright, how about strychnine?
Hold it!
How long does it take for symptoms to appear then? According to the coroner I was speaking to at the yard, about 30 minutes after the poison's consumed. And the victim suffers violent convulsions, cramping, and stiffness, and eventually dies from asphyxiation. But there's a 30-minute interval between when the poison is ingested and the onset of symptoms. There seems to be a lot of different types of poison in the world, that's for sure.
Oh dear, death by poisoning again. It's always so awful. What a convenient narrative device to make mysteries out of.
What?
Nothing.
30 minutes is a long time. Certainly long enough for the victim to have locked the door behind the accused after he left. You can't deny that. And it further degrades Soseki-san's alibi. I have the medical report from the doctor who examined the victim here, my lord. It spells it out, really. The accused is the only person who could have done it.
Very well. The court will add this report to the court record as evidence.
Alright, we're gonna have to read that.
Oh yes, I see it here. Delayed onset of symptoms.
Great. Alright, so let's take a look. Victims medical reports. Alright, victims William Shamspeare, 31, cause a coma, ingestion of small quantity of strychnine. I have no idea how to pronounce that, by the way, so I'm just going with strike 9, and hopefully that's close. Toxic effects present 30 minutes after ingestion. High likelihood of the substance having been mixed with the tea the victim was drinking, but no sample could be obtained for testing. Investigative conclusions. The poisoning incident occurred around 1:30 a.m. on the 21st of February. Tests from the victim's pocket watch that appears to have broken when the man collapsed after the delayed onset of symptoms. No container for the poison was found at the scene. 1:30 a.m. Didn't he say that he went back at like 11 o'clock? That doesn't line up. At around 11. Is it too early to say that that can't be right? And that's a contradiction? I think it is. Let me drop a safety save just in case. Because it says right in the thing. Toxic defense present 30 minutes after ingestion, which means that he would have ingested it at 1 a.m. and that's 2 hours before this motherfucker went back to his room. Or 2 hours after. So yeah, it's gotta be this, right?
Objection!
Hey. Does the greatest attorney have a stepladder or ladder debate? I haven't found it yet. I don't remember if it was in the first game, but I don't recall it. Because I don't think we've seen a ladder yet. So I'm hoping there's one in this game. Mr. Natsume, you said it was 11 p.m. when you left to return to your room, correct? Yes! Okay, I don't know why you made that pose. Pose? Fuck, my Canadian was showing there for a second. Apologies. There isn't that it's not an AA game. Yeah, absolutely. And Inspector Gregson, can we rely on the information in the medical report unconditionally? Of course we can. There's no problem with that report, Sunshine. Actually, I think there's a very big problem. Because there's a chronological inconsistency between it and the defendant's testimony. What? What are you on about? According to this report, the victim must have consumed the poison at around 1:30 in the morning. And yet, the defendant, Mr. Natsume, left the victim's room at 11. Ah! Yes, that's right. There's more than 2 hours of missing time there. Do you just shit your pants? I can smell it. In other words, out my hands, if there was poison in the tea that Mr. Natsume brought into the victim's room, how could the victim have fallen ill to it 2.5 full hours after the defendant left? Ah!
The defense's argument is entirely reasonable. How do you respond, Lord Van Zeeks?
I'm going to poison myself to show you all. Pray forgive the discourtesy if my mind has wandered. 2.5 hours melted into the tea. Was he left with any tea? The cups were fully empty. But we noticed that there was a rim of leftover tea on Shamespeare's cup and none in Soseki's cup. Which I'm thinking plays into it somehow. Either by like time or temperature. I was considering what cuisine would best complement the contents of my hallowed chalice this luncheon. The lunch break is not for a while. You're early. How could it have happened, you ask? I didn't even drink it. I do hate to shatter illusions, but my Nipponese friend appears to be chasing a phantom idea. A phantom? Is it so hard to imagine that the victim drank his tea after the accused had left? For example, at the time stated in the medical report. Yes, at around 1:30.
Objection!
Ow! Mr. Natsume brought the tea with him to drink together with his neighbor. And in Japan, there was a well-known saying, drink tea while it's hot.
Objection!
Okay, well, you're in Britain, so, like, shut up. And in my country, there's an even more apt saying. There is nothing more refreshing than cold tea. The point is, if there was such a long gap, There may be other ways to explain how the victim came to be poisoned. Other possibilities.
What sort of possibilities, Counsel?
Well, for example, the man could have had another visitor.
Another visitor. That's a very bold assertion, my learned friend, from someone who has nothing to substantiate it.
Or the victim could have taken the poison of his own volition.
You suggest this may have been a suicide, Counsel?
Objection!
Mr. Shamspear has categorically denied suicide. The idea can and must be discounted.
Objection!
Owie. But he could be lying. Van Zeeks?
Something wrong, Lord Van Zeeks?
I like the pathetic slap sound effect, yeah.
I was listening to the sound of the carriage pulling up outside the courtroom. Pray forgive the discourtesy.
Carriage? What carriage? Is it fucking Shamspear?
It would seem that the key player in this case has just arrived.
Oh boy.
Out, brief candle, life's but a walking shadow.
There he is.
A poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Who, sir, are you? William Shamspear, my lord. At last, 'twas I, undone by these bitter events. I am the victim.
What's he doing here? I knew it was gonna happen.
Oh, the prosecution seeks to call this gentleman to the stand. With his testimony, my learned friend's futile resistance will be utterly crushed.
What he's doing is not being dead enough. God, I agree. 5 minutes till bread? Hell yeah. You're calling him as a witness?
Very well, counsel. I grant your request with interest. I'm curious to discover what the court shall hear from the victim himself.
I hate this guy already.
Happy my Shamspear to regale thee with my tale of woe, my lord.
Oh, but I still have my own tale to tell. My own tales of worse woe. I can regale the court with the tale of my perfect innocence in perfect English.
That will do, Mr. Natsume. Let the court now hear from the victim.
Why the fuck? Hang on. What's the man in yellow doing here? Alright, so that's Mr. Shamspear. But who's that other man beside him?
Yes, I feel sure that we caught a glimpse of that man before.
State your names and occupations for the court, please, witnesses.
A writer of words so sweet they do scent the breeze, an inventor of ideas so profound they compose the earth. The unrivaled poet, the unmatched scribe, William Shakespeare. Were the great bard to be recalled to life anew, lo, what a magnificent man! Good fellows, I am he who ponders such a miracle, William Shamspear.
This guy's not the landlord. This is, we saw this dude outside the room, and he, like, ran away, as we were leaving the floor. The man in the moon is the landlord. That's Garadeb. I have no fucking idea what voice to use this guy. The name's Merriman, Adrian B. Merriman. I work for the Altamont Gas Company, East End branch office.
Ah, I remember now. It was yesterday on Briar Road.
Oh yes, she's right, it's him. Meter man? Yeah, fucking living the dream, this guy. Oh, what's this? Yeah, there he is. But he took the soap with him. which is weird. I've already seen this. Missing watching VTubers play COD Zombies, and now I feel nostalgic for a game I barely played. There! Jojo pose, away! I never did play much of COD Zombies. I played it on my phone a long time ago. It was like ported to iOS at one point, and I played it. That was like the only time. And then like maybe once or twice when I was like visiting other people. Yes, we spotted him outside Mr. Garrideb's house that morning. He's a gas company employee. What does he have to do with this case? Yeah, it was fun.
So, Mr. William Shakespeare, you're the victim in this miserable affair, correct?
Oh heaven, oh hell, do you command me to remember? A sweet poison that did cross me and cross mine innocent lips.
I subpoenaed him for the trial, with his doctor's permission, naturally. Hearing the testimony of the aggrieved will remove any room for doubt from the jurors' minds, I'm sure.
The stain you noticed at the start of the stream was the gas stain. That's potentially it, because it is right below the meter. I'm wondering if it's potentially like the T itself, and just nobody noticed, but I don't know.
Behold, you have only to rearrange the letters of my name to see that me is a seraph, an angel indeed. Thus be I noble of mind, sweet of nature, and verily honest of heart, as all heavenly angels be.
Because there isn't a less contrived meaning in your name. No, not at all.
The jurors seem to be very moved by this man, I'm afraid.
I hate his face. Same. They're actually taking the seraph anagram idea. They're actually taking the seraph anagram idea seriously.
Thank you, witness, for your illuminating introductions.
But my lord, what's the man next to Mr. Shakespeare doing here? The gas man, I mean.
What? Me? Well now.
Allow me to enlighten my learned friend. You recall, I presume, your earlier impertinence, when you suggested that the victim had another visitor to his room on the night in question. Excuse me. And moreover, that the victim is a compulsive liar.
What? No, I didn't quite say that.
This young chin-stroker here is to controvert your wild claims, conclusively. Is that not so, Mr. Meterman?
Hey, hang on. No, I'm just here.
I hereby call for your formal testimonies. You will tell the court as lucidly as possible what happened on the night in question.
One might smile and be a villain. Yes, it doth pain me, but let the truth be spoken. The truth of that winter... The truth... Nope. The truth of that wintry night of my discontent.
What a fucking chin on that guy.
Here comes the Crimson Chin!
Love how half of the AA characters' last names, just their occupations, just spelled with funny letters. Yeah. Well, that wasn't even the case in the original AA. Gumshoe is just a noun for a detective. It's not even funny letters, it's just the word. The wintry night of my discontent.
The snow lay about, my neighbour did cometh in the evening, bearing a gift of tea. But merry, bitter was his drink, and when he left I did fall prostrate on my table. 'Twas the tea alone that did pass my lips that late hour, nothing else, not else. I was outside this bloke's window in the freezing cold all night, keeping an eye on his room. No one else visited his room but that short little round-backed Easton fella.
Wait, what did you say? You were keeping an eye on Mr. Shakespeare's room all night?
That's right. Of course, the bloke's window is all but blocked up, isn't it? But there's a little gap in the bricks where you can see into the room. Well, I spent the night trying to keep my teeth from chattering as I peered in through that.
The question is, sir, why?
There! Well now, it's because he's on my list. What a piece of work it is a man. Wherefore wouldst thou not stare in wonderment?
What are you talking about? Yeah, his name is literally Detective. Wild.
This buzzing busybody hath not part in this play. I pray thee, pay him no heed,
Make no more ado about his tedious words. What you say about me? He's B-themed. He's B-themed. He's B-themed. Alright. Hey! Enemy pup! That was a nail biter. What was a nail biter? Enemy pup, hello! Welcome in. How was your stream? Can we get a shout out? Oh, is Toaster back? I don't know if Toaster's back. He said he would return. Ah, fuck. I keep forgetting I can't scroll on this window. It counts as an input. Let me do it. Oh, never mind. He's back. Welcome, folks. Enemy Pup, how's it going? What were you playing? Moonbreaker. I've never even heard of such a thing. Tell me all about it. What is that? For those of you who are new here, hello, my name is Freelance. As you can see below, we're playing Greatest Attorney, and we're doing bad voice acting, so I apologize in advance. We'll be doing this for a little bit, and then we'll be switching to Project Wingman to finish that off. But how's everybody doing? How was your stream? Welcome in, and yeah, hope everything was good. If you gotta take off to take care of yourself, no worries. You're back. The bread became. I'm assuming bread. But I won't assume anything until you tell me.
Calm yourself. This court is concerned with what happened on the night in question. Nothing more. Indeed, that is so. And as the testimony we have just heard clearly reveals, there was no one other than the accused present at the time who could have carried out this crime.
Tactics game that tries and I think succeeds at emulating tabletop mini wargaming stuff. Ooh. That's fun. You have a question, Waffle? I might have an answer. Really good, has a lot of interesting designs and horror and music. Ooh. We love a good soundtrack. Love a good OST. I'll have to check it out.
Well, I believe this may be the final testimony of the trial. Now, counsel, the defense may proceed with the cross-examination.
In a paint studio mode? Wow. A lot to it. Yes, my lord. I might have to take a close look at this. I'm actually gonna check it out on Steam real fast. Moonbreaker. Oops, nope, one word. Ooh. Digital miniatures experience. Set in an expansive sci-fi universe crafted by Brandon Sanderson. What fucking pies does this guy not have his hands in? How does this guy have time to live? The amount of books he puts out and doing lore for video games? Wild. Huh. This is my wish list. Ooh, it's currently on sale. Take a look at that. If your regular viewers are Hive Mind, and am I the entire straightened section of the Hive Mind? I mean, yeah, pretty much. Excuse me. Okay. Tea. It was a drink when I left it fall prostrate on my table. That one seems suspect. That doesn't clear up the timing issue. Because the whole deal was that the times don't add up and how long it takes for the poison to take effect and when Soseki left. So let's see what he says on that. He alone that did pass my lips that late hour. Or he might give me the time on this statement as well. Inside the books window, the freezing cold all night, keeping an eye on his room. I don't know why. Just visit his room with that short little round-backed Eastern fella. Okay. Let's start with this.
Hold it!
Let me stop you there. Mr. Natsume left your room at 11 o'clock. This is exactly what I wanted. But it wasn't until after 2 that the poison made you collapse. That amounts to more than 3 hours of missing time. What is this? this was just one of the devs in front of like a motion capture studio, and they were just like, hey, can you just like move around a little bit just so we can like test and calibrate the settings? And he was like, sure man, no problem. And then he just did this, and they were like, cool. Put that in the game? Put that, yeah, we're gonna keep that. Put that in the game. Yeah, no, save it. Save it? Yeah, we're gonna use it. Yeah, save it. Alright, you're good, buddy. If the defendant had really put the poison into your tea, that 3-hour window of time is something you're going to have to explain. Did they mocap this game? That looks mocap. Not all of it, but I think there are some things they mocapped. I think this is one of the few games they mocapped. Because you can tell there's like a little bit of a tell in like certain animations where it's too smooth compared to the rest of the animations. That looks like one of them. I don't think it was mocapped. I don't think Dual Destiny said mocap. I think Spirit of Justice, I think, might have started that. I don't know, it's been a while. Speaking of mocap, have you seen the mocap Rajang clips? I have not. That sounds cursed. I'm curious. Post that on the Discord. Ooh, that's some nice looking bread. Very well done, Toaster. A 3-hour window of time is something you're going to have to explain.
Gladly, 'tis an easy task.
What?
I did drink of the tea, not while my guest did tarry, but after he took leave of me. Faith, 'twas stone cold, but at 1 hour post midnight, verily were my lips parched.
Objection!
He was an exceptionally talented animator who got hired by Pixar and Dev Cycle. Possible. It might not be mocapped, but it does look mocapped compared to most of the animations. Bread was a bowl of goop an hour ago. It looks so bread. Yeah. What a glow up. Alright, I'll take a look at those videos. That doesn't sound normal.
Nay, 'tis quite ordinary, sire, after all. Thou wouldst recall our fiery debate. With such argument, there'd be no time for fiery tea.
Well, Soseki drank his, so... Romeo and Juliet again, and who was stronger? Right, you're a power scaler, I get it.
Mr. Shamspear, in summary, allow me to confirm. Did you not come here with the intention of naming your attacker?
But of course, my liege. 'Twas the stooped lover of words did attempt to shuffle me off this mortal coil.
We all know what that means. Okay. Might be this guy that we have to press. Why were you out there? Shit fuck? Explain that. But the windows of that house have all been filled in.
A historical artifact of the now defunct window tax.
Yeah, you're right there. All bricked up horribly. But as it happens, there's a little part of the brickwork at the bottom corner that's been opened up. I was looking in through that gap.
Yes, there were a few bricks loose, weren't there?
And for some strange reason, a couple of bars of soap lined up on the ledge outside as well.
I don't like going around poking my chin in other people's business, especially on freezing cold nights. But them's my orders, so that's what I'll keep doing, as long as there's breath in my body.
What's with all the theatricals today?
Out of interest, Mr. Miniman, after the accused had left and returned to his own lodgings, did you see the victim leave the room at all?
No, he never left. He was in that room the whole time as far as I'm concerned.
And we can therefore discount the possibility of suicide.
How can you be sure of that?
The police carried out a thorough investigation of the scene and found no receptacle for the poison. And since we know the victim didn't leave his room, and hence didn't dispose of the poison's container by himself, it's clear that this was no attempted suicide. Only the culprit could have removed the receptacle. Ah, yes. Lucidly explained, counsel. Thank you.
It really was. He can't argue with the logic. Okay. No one else visited the room. Let's give it a shot. I feel like I'm gonna have to press everything here. See, a short little round-backed Eastern fella, so you can't be sure it was the defendant then.
Objection!
Oh, how many other short little round-backed nipponese with a mustache do you think there are in London?
Well, of course, it's only a narrow gap and it was quite dark, so I didn't notice the mustache. But he showed up at around 9, so I'm pretty sure of myself.
And when the person you saw arrived, did he and Mr. Shamspear drink tea together? I wish I was him.
Ah, sorry, couldn't say.
Why not?
Because I couldn't see into the room all that well, could I? But what I did see was the silhouette of that little roundback fella wearing a pretty dress.
Well, he was in costume, so that does track, unfortunately. That was so close to being something important.
And the pair of them started some kind of wrestling match. I tell you, I didn't know what to make of it.
I suppose that was the Romeo and Juliet championship battle getting underway.
My God, it's Romeo with the steel chair!
Mr. Meterman, allow me to confirm one final time. Apart from the accused, can you state with certainty that no one else visited the victim on the night in question?
No question. Cashman's honor.
That's the entire testimony.
What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo?
Well, I can't see any obvious holes at all, to be honest.
No, oh dear. If nobody else visited Mr. Shamspear's room that night apart from Mr. Natsume, I imagine the members of the jury will all conclude the same thing.
Update, you're going to IKEA on Wednesday? Ooh, what you getting? Right, he's guilty. Well, all we can do is press these witnesses for more information and hope for a breakthrough. Blage Wednesday?
Yes.
Okay. We didn't press this, and we didn't press this. Let's start with this. I think this one's got more to it. So, you didn't have any kind of evening meal? Dinner? Supper?
Ha! Fire on luxury, fire on gluttony. To eat thrice daily is but a waste of time.
Alright.
How would that my belly were full, no more of the sun doth rise.
Well, most worldly habits, I must say.
Night and day do I fill my hours with learned study of the great bard and playwright. Hence is it that there doth not in my chamber be than the costumes of mine art.
That would appear to be the case, as even a rodent was found starved to death in your room.
That about asking for the trans shark, decided against it for the bookshelf.
Now I think of it, it's not just food that was conspicuously missing from that room, is it? I don't recall seeing a single play or script anywhere. For I have devoured them all.
You've eaten them?
Every word be within my skull. Didst thou imagine otherwise?
Right, that wasn't misleading at all. Now, could you turn around, do you think?
Which brings us to the conclusion that the only way the poison could have passed the victim's lips is in the tea.
Alright, first statement it is. There might not be anything for us to be, for things. I'm falling apart. We're fucked! We're fucked!
Hold it!
To be clear, by neighbor, you are referring to the defendant, Mr. Natsume.
Oh, indeed, sire. Perchance thou wouldst that I call him
The man from upstairs.
And at what time did the mustachioed Nipponese visit you in your room?
Our meeting was promised for the hour of 9, and lo did he come to tender a gift of fragrant tea.
You tell us which were in accordance with the defendant's own testimony, yes.
It will broil in such literary debate as history hath not seen before.
By which I presume he means...
Their discussion about who was the stronger, Romeo or Juliet.
How long leave bread to cool? As much as you want until it goes moldy, really.
I, Shamspear, did play the part of young Romeo, whilst my neighbour played the fair Juliet. Each of us dressed as would our characters be, to bring weight upon our merry experiments.
How soon eat bread? I don't know. Touch it. If it feels cool, you're ready to go.
I do not imagine the scene.
Frailty, thy name is woman. Canst thou imagine how dismayed I was? Yes, I'd heard of the eastern art of jujitsu, but
Ne'er did I dream that twould be a skill practiced by the comely maiden.
Juliet beat Romeo up? This is not helping our case.
I believe the court has heard enough about your earth-shattering literary debate. Perhaps you could reiterate your statement about the tea that the accused brought to your room. My liege, I am thy servant. Gladly I would do thy bidding.
I knew it. Gotta press everything. Soseki? Oh! Oh, fuck. The jury's had enough.
My lord! Goodness me! Yes, Mr. Foreman. I've kept my mouth shut and listened up to now, but this has gone on long enough. Are you all with me? Yes! Are we to understand that you ladies and gentlemen of the jury are in agreement with one another?
I'm losing my mind living alone, I think. Some people do not do well on their own.
That you've reached a unanimous decision? Too right, we have. Are you all with me? Yes!
Wait, no! The defense is in the middle of their cross-examination.
To be honest, I was holding out a bit of hope for you, young man. Especially after you identified those few hours that followed the accused leaving the victim's room.
Yes, the 3 missing hours, as you put it.
Nope. Shamespeare's flowing into all my voices. But in the end, what difference do they make? None as far as I can see.
And since that's now apparent, there's really no reason to delay our decision any longer.
Like I was saying before, if I don't take 5 bob home with me tonight, the missus will blow her top. What's that? Sorry, I didn't quite catch what you said. Very well. Let the court be apprised of your decisions. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, will state your leanings as to the defendant's culpability.
Guilty!
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Oh, that's right. He had like a Scottish accent. Boy, that's... What a mechanical complexity for such theatrics. But all of you?
Well, it would appear that the jury is indeed unanimous. I promise I'll actually drink this one. So, this time at least it seems justice will be done.
All's well that ends well, as they say. This calls for a toast, I feel.
To the guilty being punished.
My spine!
Get up, Mr. Naruto, please! The trial isn't over yet.
What do you mean, Mr. Sato?
What about the information I found in this encyclopedia of British law I have? That obscure right that belongs to the defense in these situations. Remember?
Oh yeah, our unique game mechanic. A summation examination. Yes, that's right. We don't have a jury in Japanese courts, of course. But here in the British court of law, if we can reverse the decision of a majority of the jurors, we can force the trial to continue. This trial can't end now. Whatever it takes, I just can't let that happen. Ow! The defense moves to invoke its right to a summation examination, my lord. Why am I not surprised at my learned Nipponese friend's inability to admit defeat? You choose to cling so desperately to some archaic rule you barely comprehend instead of accepting the truth.
Certainly no other defense counsel in recent times has exercised the right to a summation examination.
Because they all know that once the jury's mind is set, it cannot be altered.
Nevertheless, the right remains and must be upheld. The defense counsel's request is granted. This court will proceed with a summation examination as outlined in the Encyclopedia of British Law.
Thank you, my lord.
Are you and your fellows prepared, Mr. Foreman? Believe me, my lord, we know all about this young lad's tenacity. And we're ready for it. Very well. In that case, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I hereby call upon each of you to state the grounds upon which you find the defendant guilty of the crime from which he stands accused.
Alright. Here we go.
The victim may not be well off, but he's a noble man, straight up. There's no reason to doubt the man.
Well, I do declare the good gentleman has no reason to lie. In fact, I think he's rather splendid.
I'd fuck him. Just look at the accused by comparison. He's Japanese, stoops all the while, and has a mustache. Very fishy.
There's no evidence to suggest the gangling actor is a fraudsman. For now, at least.
We don't care, Lark. I just need this trial to end quickly. 3 hours of missing time is nothing when you reach my age, you know. Nothing at all.
Cool. I knew it. Every single one of them seems completely convinced. Yeah, his name literally has the word sham in it. How is that not suspicious?
It would seem that all the jurors have come to the conclusion that Mr. Shamspeare is a fine, upstanding, and honest citizen.
If you ask me, they've all been bewitched by his strange theatrical movements.
And sadly, nothing Mr. Natsume has said appears to have registered at all.
Well, here goes. Let's not forget. I pleaded with the jury on Soseki-san's behalf before, and it worked. So you never know.
Before we begin, it might be an idea for me to remind you exactly how a summation examination works, Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh.
Well, you're still very new to British law, after all.
Did I tell you about this project I found? I don't think so. That's true, I suppose. And Soseki-san's fate is entirely in my hands now, too. There's always a chance I might have forgotten some crucial detail. Perhaps I should hear Susato-san out. I wonder, should I let her talk me through it again, or not bother? Nope, I got it. I remember what's up. Pretty much a project where a dude's making fully customizable 3D printed mech minis. Really? For true and for honest? Yo, hit me up with the details, because that's important to me. Thank you for the kind offer, Mr. Sato. But I've been through plenty of these summation examinations already now. I think it's important that we don't delay the start any longer than necessary. Also making the public if you subscribe to his Patreon. Oof. Appreciate the game offering its service as a standalone game.
Of course, I understand, and I'm quite sure you're right. If you're confused by anything at any point, you can turn to me for advice whenever you like. I'll be here for you.
The key to this is really listening carefully to each juror's statement. Sent it to me? Alright, I'll check it out. Finding two that are contradictory and pitting the corresponding jurors against each other.
Without further ado, please, counsel, proceed with the summation examination.
Deep breaths. Yes, my lord. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check them out. That sounds very good. Alright, Nabi Wallop is a noble man and straight up. There's no reason to doubt the man. Declares a good gentleman. Has no reason to lie. Maybe we can uncover a reason. That'd be useful. This guy's just like, I don't like the way he looks, so fuck him. I hope he dies. No evidence. Her, I don't think. I have to find something else. This guy is just like, I just want to be out of here. You... I feel like has the most amount of stuff here. Don't think he's selling the parts pre-printed though? That's fine. What do you really mean by that, sir?
Well, I'm not one to boast, but I get up at 5 every morning, I do.
At 5? You're really early riser then, aren't you?
What's that now?
I said you're an early riser.
Oh, well, I wouldn't say that. I mean, I like to while away the hours in the evening reading books as well. But by about 2 in the morning, I'm usually too tired to go on.
He sleeps at 2 in the morning and gets up at 5? Oh my, that means he only has 3 hours of sleep each night.
What's that, dear?
Only 3 hours of sleep each night!
That's right. You see, 3 hours of missing time, like I said, it's not much, is it?
This really isn't helping. Alright, that's useless.
The key to summation examination.
Okay, I got it. I know. I know what the deal is. Thank you. Yeah, I should be able to get him now. I got it, thank you. Somehow find an in-person Lancer group. I'm 100% using these to build my NPC tokens. Yeah, that'd be great. If I was gonna do an in-person Lancer group, I'd just yield the old standard, like, piece of paper on a little, like, token holder. It just stands up. Like the way Pathfinder used to do it. Alright, well, I guess we'll just press everybody. Well, there are plenty of people in London who seem noble but poor. Couldn't some of them also be liars?
I've no doubt about it. Like that shaky client of yours, for example.
Absolutely not. Mr. Natsume is no liar. I just want an excuse to 3D print minis. Hey, that's fair.
Look, the point is, the only thing that's passed the victim's lips that night was that Japanese man's tea. When you take the gas man's testimony into account as well, the truth couldn't be any clearer.
Well, that's alarmingly logical.
But let me be frank here. I'm a gentleman with a gentleman's values. It turns out that the old Shakespearean chum is a rotten liar after all. I gladly changed my decision about the defendant. And I'm sure my fellow gentlemen of the jury would do the same. Isn't that right?
Well, yes, perhaps. Though I don't see it happening.
What's that? Elderly gent to the end here, you know. You have to speak up.
Look, I really don't care what was known as. I just need this trial to be over. Fucking butchered that first line, it's fine. How many gentlemen do we actually have on the jury, then? Alright, sir, I may hold you to that. Don't forget what you said. Oh, he changed. Either the victim's liar or we consider my position. Okay.
Hold it!
What about you? Are you saying you'll believe the man to be trustworthy because he's rather splendid?
No, that's not what I said. The point is, the man is the victim here. What reason would he have to lie? And yes, he is rather splendid.
Well, you say, yet again.
Meanwhile, the man who stands accused behaves so suspiciously, it's exhausting to look at him. I'm afraid he's not splendid at all.
Splendid logic there, madam. Thank you so much. Alright, she's fucking useless. I have a feeling this guy's not gonna be much help either. To be honest, if someone was both submissive and breedable, I think they'll be the most trustworthy person ever, so I get her. Well, thank God you're not in charge. Actually, being useless must suck. No, not one of those things is a reason to find the man guilty. But he is fishy. There's no point dancing around the fact. He's Japanese, he has a mustache, and he stoops. You see, you arrive at the conclusion in just 3 steps. 3 steps, like a waltz, in fact. You know, the more I think about it, the more this trial seems like a dance. You seem to be several steps ahead of yourself, though. And you're on the wrong foot. Ow! No, there's nothing but circumstantial evidence here. There's no actual proof of the defendant's guilt. But the victim's version of events is backed up by what the big chained man next to him says, isn't it? Or chinned. I thought it said chained. 1, he saw the Japanese man there. 2, he saw no one else. And 3, he saw the Japanese man there. Oh. That's another 3 steps. All this really does seem more and more like a waltz, doesn't it? Right, and the prosecution will waltz its way to victory if I let you speak much more. Okay. What about you, ma'am?
Hold it!
Frosman. What do you mean by that, madam?
It really is a most tiresome problem for the company. Most irritating. We can be absolutely certain that a customer is stealing from us, but without hard evidence. We can't even threaten to take action for fear of being sued.
What? I'm sorry, you've lost me a little there. Who are you? Oh, smoothly left the pan, by the way? Yeah, baby. That's a W. That's a pog.
I'm the wife of Augustus Altamont, owner of the Altamont Gas Company.
Good gracious, Altamont Gas, you say?
Gas is the future of energy in this country and around the globe, but proper handling is essential. As I'm sure our employee from the East End branch office would be the first to agree.
Absolutely, Lady Quimby. Gotta be used properly. Altamont Gas is the best in the world, of course.
Oh, is that what this guy's doing? Is he taking the gas and like liquefying it and then moving it in the soap? Is that what it is? That might be a stretch, but it's plausible.
I think we may have solved the mystery of the bow from earlier, Mr. Naruhodo.
Right, he bowed in deference to his employer's wife, did he? Ah, so would I be right in assuming that the reason Mr. Meterman was watching what Mr. Shamspeare was up to in his room?
I'm afraid that there's no end to the lengths the population of the East End will go in order to steal our gas. They really have no choice when the company identifies somebody as a possible fraudsman, but to dispatch a worker to watch the suspect day and night.
We're very thorough in our investigations.
So you mean Mr. Shamspeare is...
I wouldn't come out and say it in public. But you can finish that sentence with a grubby little gas thief.
You're also bee-themed. Is everyone in the company bee-themed? You have noticed the public gallery in here, have you?
The eye of the man hath not heard, the ear of the man hath not seen. Faith, wouldst thou wound me with thy words, were I to let them penetrate the skin. But seraphs hear not insults, only choirs of angels in song. You may not have evidence yet, but my workers won't stop buzzing around you until they find it. And when they do, you'll find yourself blasted back to your angelic heights in an ultimate gas explosion.
Can't do that in court. That's a threat to kill somebody. Now, Mr. Shamspeare has been stealing gas. I wonder, juror number 4, if you wouldn't mind adding that information to your statement. Yeah, the gas company is absolutely a bunch of bees.
My pleasure. Was it the bit about ripping that thief apart you enjoyed?
A little before the part about abject violence, if it's not too much trouble.
Yes, of course.
This could be it. This could shift the balance. Alright, so I think I have to pit 4 against 1. On a fine performance, but he's a common thief on my company's gas. Alright, so that's against this guy. Right? Double check. Yeah, pretty sure.
Objection!
Yep. Those two statements clearly contradict each other.
Good gracious. To which two statements do you refer, counsel?
Juror number 1.
Here, what are you yelling about, lad?
I presume you've heard juror number 4's statement. Yeah, see this animation here? This, to me, is clearly mocapped. Look at all the little micro movements that his chest makes as he's walking around. This is 100% mocapped. If it was just animated traditionally, that would be a lot smoother. Because all the movement between the different frames would all be interpreted by the computer, so it would all be smooth. You wouldn't get any jittery movements like that unless it's mocapped. I presume you've heard juror number 4's statement. Interpolating, yes. I presume you've heard juror number 4's statement made by the wife of the owner of Ultimate Gas.
Well, yes.
The victim, who you claim to be a noble, straight-up man, in fact, turns out to be a common thief.
So the good lady says, but there's no evidence, is there? You and I both heard them say as much.
It's true, we don't have evidence as such. Just yet. But the claims aren't baseless, you know.
What?
You heard me. Seeing as his operation has already been compromised. I was just at the court to hear testimony from our East End branch office company. East End branch office employee over there.
I'll do whatever you say, my lady. Gasman's honor.
Present soap. Ow! Juror number 1. You say you're a man of your word. If I could show that Mr. Shamspeare was a liar, you assured me that you would reconsider your decision about the defendant's guilt.
Yes, I did say that. And as a man of honor, I'll hold to it. And I'm sure the other gentlemen of the jury will.
Me? Oh, well, yes. Now that we found out the man's a liar, perhaps we ought to consider the matter further.
Well, if I'm perfectly honest, I haven't heard half of what you've all been saying. So if this means a recap a few points, that would suit me down to the ground. Oh no, I am part of this. I want this trial over and done with.
In that case, I shall change my leaning.
Oh, Mr. William Shamspeare, if that is your real name. We of the jury demand to know exactly what kind of a man you really are.
Oh, that was easy. That's 4 jurors. 4 for not guilty. I'd fuck him, to be honest. Who? There's a lot of characters we could be talking about. Gamespear? But only if he puts on the Juliet dress. Alright, that's fair.
Yes, Mr. Naruhodo, victory!
Order, order!
Oh, my capture's fucked up. I think? Oh no, that's just the fire.
Well, this is quite extraordinary, I must say. As a result of the defense's summation examination, the jury's leaning has changed. Now only 2 jurors say guilty, whilst 4 say not guilty. I therefore declare this court to be in a state of disaccord, and order the trial to continue.
God damn it. You have spoiled the bouquet, Mr. Shamspear. The ladies and gentlemen of the jury now find they are unable to trust you, the victim. But you gods will give us some faults to make us men. So God mend me, I do swear. This gasman speaketh that which concerns him most, not but gas, not but thin air. It burneth bright a while, but it hath not substance, and it doth reek foul. He shit his pants. He farted and shitted, and cummed.
Oi, what did you say? I did not fart and shit it.
Well, I take it, Mr. Shamspear, that you deny the allegations of gas thievery.
Most heartily, my lord, hast thou forgot? I am as a seraph, an angel, noble of mind, sweet of nature, and verily honest of heart.
Ah, you flowery mouth pompous beanpole, just 'cause I haven't got the evidence yet.
Ah, Mr. Shamspear. If in fact you are not noble of mind, sweet of nature, or honest of heart, if you are a liar, then your testimony should have no sway in this courtroom.
It is my considered opinion that at the present time, no other possible culprit of this crime has been identified. All testimony heard by the court thus far heavily implicates the defendant. In short, it would not be unreasonable at this stage for me to rule on the case.
Can we see your mouse? My computer mouse? Or like this mouse? Or like my actual physical mouse? The cursor? There it is. Oh, we can, not can we. Gotcha. I misread that. Yeah, no, that's intentional. Just to see what I'm clicking on. And so I can do shit like this and show what I'm looking at. Normally you can't see it because we have, like, you know, a controller or, like, stuff like that. But, like, this is a point and click game, so it's kind of important to know where you're pointing and clicking. Yeah. I might not have had it in the previous playthrough when we first did it. I might have turned it off, but I think it's useful to be able to, like, point out stuff physically.
Oh no!
However, in light of the fact that the jury has expressed concern about the fidelity of this witness, I believe it would be inappropriate for this court not to pursue the point further.
Objection!
I assure you, my lord, that would be a waste of the court's time. The gas in this case are unrelated. My fucking hand. Juror number 4.
Yes?
Didn't you say before that although you had no hard evidence to prove this man has been stealing gas, you have strong grounds for suspecting him?
That's right, we do. Don't we, Marker?
Absolutely, Lady Quinby.
Oh, I just got it. I just got it. Queen Bee. Didn't clock it because I was in her head. She was juror number 4. God damn it. He's racist and can't take an L just like real life. No kidding.
Gasman's honor.
Very well then. We will hear your testimony now. You will tell the court precisely why you believe the victim, Mr. William Shamspeare, has been stealing gas.
Yes, my lord, it'll be my pleasure. On the Altamont Gas name, I swear.
If I may, my lord. Go ahead, madam.
This worker's testimony may have significant bearing on the good name of my husband's company.
She might show your stinger if you ask nightly. She already did. It's her umbrella.
Therefore, I should like to take the stand alongside him in a supervisory role, if you wouldn't mind.
Wahoo! Oh yeah, sweet as honey. Yeah. Yeah.
Very well. As an exception, I shall honor your request.
She tells me to bark. I'll ask how loud. She is pretty bad. Just saying. Her other stinger? Ah.
Thank you, my lord.
You wait till the boss gives you an earful. Oh, it's gonna sting. You mark my words.
So, you will both testify before the court on the subject of the illegal consumption of the Altamont Gas Company's fuel.
Yes, is that clear, my good man?
Clear as Altamont Gas, my lady. Which is the clearest in the world.
Every time he does that, I think he's gonna start singing the fucking, like, Altamont Gas anthem. Do you think the gas has gone to his head, Mr. Sato?
I think the man is just a very dedicated employee, Mr. Naruto.
This has been the rare instance where I'm not gay. It's that 15% straight coming at you. Altamont Gas Company's investigation.
I'm proud to be the company's East End branch investigator and meter money collection agent. Altamont Gas meters accept threepenny bits, each coin giving customers about 2 hours of gorgeous gas.
And yet, the meter in Mr. Shamspeare's room didn't have a single coin in it. The meter doesn't appear to have been tampered with, though, and the collection agent has the only key.
Somehow he's using all the flaming gas he wants without paying a penny. If it's not thieving, what is?
Oh, God, I drink. Pray forgive the discourtesy. The irrelevance of this testimony caused me to turn to my hallowed chalice. You are the reason I drink. What do you mean by that remark, Lord Van Zieks? Did the mustachioed Nipponese poison the gangling excuse for an actor, or didn't he? That is all that should concern this court. And yet, now we must listen to this abhorrence. Clearly, what separates the vast British Empire and your Eastern Ireland nation is more than geographical distance.
But this could turn out to be a crucial testimony. The cross-examination must go ahead.
Fuck all of this shit. Do what you will.
Lord Van Zieks appears to be in a violent mood.
Yes, he does. I'm just waiting for, like, 1 point for him to just take and then fucking chuck it at the defense. An attempted poisoning and an incident of gas theft with no supporting evidence. Yeah, that's a lot of, like, alcohol he's wasting. He took, what, 2 cups before he tossed the whole bottle? That's like 80% of the wine at most, or at least. True that they would appear completely unrelated at first glance, but I wonder, the truth tends to be buried in the most unusual places. The first step in uncovering it will be to establish just who and what this man really is. Alright. Let's see here. I think I just got it. I think I know how I might be getting away with it. Waffle, are you thinking what I'm thinking? I think we're thinking the same thing. I think he's getting molds of coins and putting them in so that when they melt, they're gone. And that was the stain. That was what that red medallion was in the soap. All right. Interesting. Somehow he's using all the flaming gas he wants without paying a penny. That's not even what is. Well, I don't think... So that's a pretty good theory that we have. I don't think we can present this yet. But I think it is going to come into play. I think that is what it is. Let me see. I think it's honestly the last statement that I have to press. Or this one. Let me press this one first.
Hold it!
Out of interest, how long has this been going on?
Weeks and weeks! He's been pitching gas off us for ages!
And you've examined the meter Mr. Shamspeare's room, I take it?
Naturally, we took it off the wall and went over it with a fine-tooth comb.
And found nothing suspicious at all, I presume.
No, I'm afraid we didn't. Which is exactly why I demanded a new type of meter to be produced. One with an indestructible lock. The Shamspeare Special.
That sounds like it would have cost an awful lot of 3-penny pieces.
But even after all that, Thrasho's meter was still empty.
I never forget the humiliation when I opened up the money box and found it bare. You what? I said. You what? And the look on his face, that smarmy smile of his. I pulled the meter straight off the wall and took it back to the office. But you know what? Nothing. Not a trace of it being jammed open anywhere. Not a single sign.
Why is he choking himself? Is he getting off on it? I'm going to assume he's getting off on it. No more questions.
And what's happening to my salary as a result? Down by 3 shillings a day, that's what.
A life-threatening situation in a number of ways. I'm going to print a controller thumbstick fidget toy. Ooh, that's a good one. Incidentally, what became of that meter?
Nothing became of it. I've still got it.
Oh.
Right here.
No wonder they call you Meterman. I need a fidget toy? I'm kind of the same. I'm constantly fucking with, like, shit. I really shouldn't be.
It would be prudent for the court to sequester this item while the trial is ongoing.
Alright, we're definitely going to have to examine that. Definitely. Although at first glance, there doesn't appear to be anything unusual about it.
Let's move this along, shall we? Continue with our testimony. Although I would say it is as much value as the contents of that meter.
Oof. That's a fat L I took there.
Alright, so let's take a look. If I do more billion things at once, tells a lot about how active my brain is. If you don't have ADHD, then I truly don't understand the condition. It would just be unthinkable. Bingo! Oh, what's...
Have you spotted something, Mr. Naruhodo?
Just here, there's a little hole. Do you see?
Goodness, you're right. I wouldn't have noticed.
Be more surprised if I don't? Yeah, 100%. Not a very neat hole, is it? Not professionally made, I'd say.
So, you think it might have been opened up by Mr. Shamspeare?
Possibly. It seems the people at Altamont Gas must have missed it. How do you fucking miss that?
Well, it certainly seems to go all the way through to the inside.
Yes, but there's no way a coin could fit through here.
That's true, but even so, it seems more than a little suspicious.
Alright, what's this green shit on the front? Oh, it's a wax seal. So if you open it, the seal would break. It's a very sturdy looking padlock, isn't it?
And the money box is sealed with beeswax, too.
If Mr. Sholmes were to get up to any mischief, he'd be found out immediately.
Mr. Naruhodo, mischief of that kind is not the sort of thing that Mr. Sholmes would...
You know you didn't finish that sentence, don't you?
Well, anyway, it's understandable that the gas company would want to safeguard the money that's rightfully theirs.
But it does feel a little over the top, perhaps, doesn't it? Okay. Sussed it out when I got pens taken away from me for clicking them a lot during class without noticing I was clicking them. Yeah. Okay, so there's a hole in the bottom. That's gonna come in handy. See, I think the theory that we have is absolutely correct. He's using those little red medallions of whatever they're made out of, putting them in, and then he's draining them back out again. But that hole... I wonder if I present it on this. If she says the meter doesn't appear to have been tampered with, and it clearly has been. Let me press just in case. Printer can't print this kind of fidget toy. Resin is not movable like PLA. Ah. There's only one key for all of your meters.
Well, in truth, there's another key in the company vault at our main office. But even if someone had somehow managed to get hold of the key, we'd know if the coin box had been opened.
Oh? How?
I came up with a rather clever way to expose any little shenanigans as it happens.
Would you care to explain?
Well now, in order to empty a meter, you have to unlock the padlock and remove the cover. But when I close the cover again, I stick a little beeswax seal on it, you see?
A seal? Like the sort of thing you'd put on an envelope, you mean?
Something like that, yes. Basically, you can't remove that cover again without breaking the seal.
They came on the machine. That's what the beeswax is.
Now, in the case of Mr. Shamspeare's meter, there were no coins inside at all, as I said.
But the seal hadn't been broken either.
That would mean Mr. Shamspeare somehow managed to steal coins from inside the meter without opening it.
It would seem so, but that would be impossible.
Okay. Let me press this just in case. How do you know that he's been using gas, though?
Well now, since I started investigating this bloke, I've been to his room more than a few times. And on every single occasion, his lamps have been blazing and his stove pounding. It's the middle of winter, and he still turns to me, sweat dripping down his cheeks, and says,
"Get thee to a nunnery."
Hamlet, indeed.
I could wring the bloke's neck. I get all hot under the collar, but still, every time I open up that flaming meter, it's empty. He's robbing me of my salary, too. What's wrong with the world? Where's the justice?
But how can Mr. Shamspeare possibly be stealing the money? I don't understand.
The simple explanation is right before your eyes.
What?
A toast to you eventually realizing that the gas man could have been an accomplice.
You what?
Good lord, eminently plausible indeed.
Well, what do you have to say for yourself?
Oh, please, Lady Quinby, I'm a faithful worker. And besides, if the money us gasmen collect doesn't tally with how much gas has been used, you duck our pay by the same amount.
You'd be stealing money only to have the same amount taken from your wages. Really, that makes no sense.
Perhaps it's a case of losing the battle to win the war.
No, I'm not going to stir up that hornet's nest. If I went stealing from the company, I'd be finished.
It would seem there was no evidence to support the claims of thievery made against the victim, because Mr. William Shamspeare is innocent. Pray, forgive me if that shatters some illusion my learned Nipponese friend was clearly under.
Alright, I think it's on the thing that she says it hasn't been tampered with. I certainly didn't expect to uncover another crime that looks like it's been taking place in the very same room.
According to the testimony, it's only the meter in Mr. Shamspeare's room that's under suspicion. It does seem as though perhaps it has nothing to do with the incident involving Mr. Natsume.
I know, it does seem that way. But the fact is, since I've been practicing law in England, I feel like I've encountered this at least once already. Cases that are interlinked.
Oh,
It might seem that two cases have nothing to do with one another at first, but in fact they're intimately connected.
yes, we have experienced that before, haven't we? I wonder if this is another instance.
Perhaps, but we can't be sure of that yet. If the Altamont Gas Company has been investigating Mr. Shamspeare so earnestly, there must be something to it. But then how has he been managing to steal their gas? I'm gonna press this because it might come up with how big the coin is. And that might link to the soap. All London houses that have a gas supply are fitted with these gas meters, are they?
They're the latest model, the height of technology, and developed by our company, Altamont Gas. And anyone who uses our gas will have one of these meters in their property, yes. If a 3-pence coin gives 2 hours of gas, most people would use about 3 coins in a night. I bet more than that usually, if they have both gas lights and a gas stove, that is. Thinking about it, Soseki-san doesn't have a fireplace in that room of his, does he? Some people still choose to use candles, of course, and only have gas for heating.
Ah, yes, I do remember seeing candles in Mr. Natsume's room, actually.
And how does the money in the meter get back to you at the gas company? Every 3 days, gasmen like me visit properties on the gas supply and emptying the meters of coins.
I must say, the design and manufacture of the new meter cost the company an awful lot of money. But happily, it did put a stop to people not paying their dues, for the most part.
Ah, because they have to pay in advance, you mean?
Yes, exactly right.
Okay, I'm gonna go for it. Doesn't appear to have been tampered with.
Objection!
Got it. Lady Altamont, I'm afraid to say that this meter clearly does show signs of having been tampered with.
What?
Get away! I've been over and over that thing! I'm telling you, there's nothing wrong with it! In that case, what do you have to say about the small hole that's been made at the base of the coin box? Oh, what?
Right, you're quite right. There's a little hole there. The meters aren't supposed to have that. None of the others do.
In other words, we can assume that Mr. Shamspierre secretly opened up this hole himself.
Yes, I wouldn't be at all surprised. But why?
Yeah, why? I mean, it's tiny. You couldn't get a farthing through that. Lady Altamont, I wonder if you could give the court some more details about your meter design.
What sort of details?
Well, what I'd specifically like to know is how it differentiates coins, I think. How does the meter tell the difference between different coins?
What do you mean?
Well, for example, if someone were to put in a 1-penny coin, that wouldn't work presumably, wouldn't it? Or would it?
No, of course not.
So, well, how does the meter know that the coin it's been fed is a threepenny bit?
Ah, I see what you're getting at now. The meter tells coins apart by their shape and size, which includes their thickness. A threepenny bit is about 3/4 of an inch in diameter, you see. Other coins just won't fit.
I see. It's clearly been very well thought out.
The witness will amend her formal testimony with that information in case it's pertinent.
As you wish, my lord.
Alright, here we go. This is going to link to the soap. And for coins, nothing also fits. Let me press that. But conversely then, it would seem that anything matching a 3-pence coin exactly in terms of diameter and thickness could equally well be used. Would that be true?
Well, yes, in a way. The weight comes into it to a certain extent as well.
We thought of that all anyway. If I find any fake coins inside the box when I empty the meter, the contract says the customer has to pay 100 times the amount they dealt as a fine. We live for moments like that, us gasmen do. Live for them.
It would seem the gas company has thought of everything.
Wahoo! Hooray for gas! Hooray for cash! Altamont all the way!
That's quite enough of that.
Remind me, how big are threepenny bits?
About 3/4 of an inch across. What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? Is this 2 centimeters measurement significant? Or perhaps there's some other aspect of the meter's construction that we should be focusing on?
Yes, you may be right. Perhaps I should try a different tack here. Asking about whether the meter can be dismantled, for example. No, I think that's it.
Let's return to the testimony.
Of course, my lord. As I was saying, Altamont meters are unsurpassed. They can't be manipulated.
Alright, let me take a look knowing that. I can look at this again, and but I can get a measurement out of this. Oh, look at this bar of soap. There's a circular depression on this side, about 2 centimeters across. Ha ha! I was right!
Or 3/4 of an inch. Ah, do you think?
We did find the soap at the scene, didn't we?
Yes, there were 2 bars on that little ledge just outside the window. So we took this one. But I'm sure that when we first found it, there was some sort of reddish medallion in the middle there. I remember it clearly.
Yes, but there's no sign of it now. Where could it have gone? Bingo! Bingo bongo!
Objection.
Let me just confirm something here. If the diameter and thickness were to be correct, the meter would accept any object as if it were a threepenny bit. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Well, by something of a coincidence, while we were investigating in Mr. Shamspeare's room, we found a particular item that matches the dimensions perfectly.
Something the same size as the threepenny bit. What was it?
The item in question is this.
Where? Are you inhaling gas? That's a bar of soap!
It certainly looks nothing like a threepenny bit, I must say. Looks like I'm gonna have to point out exactly what I mean here. What's so important about the soap is this part here. Oop.
Got it.
You have to turn over the soap to see what I mean.
Ah, are you referring to that round depression in the middle of the soap there?
That's right, a depression that's approximately 3/4 of an inch in diameter. Or in other words, almost exactly the same size as a threepenny bit.
Get away!
Does anyone here present have in their possession a threepenny bit? Quickly now, hand over your coins, ladies and gentlemen.
Sounds rather like a highway robbery, doesn't it?
Fuck, you're going to jail. If you have no money, I'm throwing you in prison. Next to a kind member of the public in the gallery, I have here a threepenny bit. Now to see if it fits. My word, it couldn't be more snug.
Yes, as I suspected. Ow. This, without a doubt, is a vital clue to explain how the Altamont Gas Company is being defrauded.
Well, I don't believe it.
Of course she is a fucking striped skirt.
So, your assertion amounts to what? That some inferior bar of soap has a tentative connection to the theft of gas.
Yes. The depression in the soap was clearly made by a threepenny bit.
I must concur at least that pushing a coin with some force into a poor quality bar of soap such as this is a remarkably simple way of replicating the coin's shape.
And then you could use, well, some melted wax or something to pour into the mold. You could make fake coins in no time.
I wonder if this has a historical precedent. Like, I wonder if people actually did this. This brings all the pieces of the puzzle together. It's the method Mr. Shamsphere has been using to steal the gas. That's the missing link. And now, if I follow the chain of thought, it's going to bring me to a new explanation for what happened that nobody's considered yet.
But this is all nonsense. If the man had been making fake coins, my worker here would have found them when he emptied the meter.
Why true, Lady Altamont, in the absence of some black magic that could make them disappear. I see. That's what we're dealing with, is it? There is one form of black magic that could cause the fake coins to disappear to thin air, yes.
Exactly. And the meter here gives it away.
What on earth?
Ow. There are remnants of the magical method used visible on the gas meter taken from the victim's room.
If that is your assertion, counsel, the defense will identify these remnants for the court at once.
Really?
Well, the meter and the remnants of the method used, we make the fake coins be seen.
It's the fucking hole. It's the only thing on here that has any sort of consequence. What else would it be? We found this bar of soap at the scene of the crime, just outside the victim's window.
Outside?
Yes, outside, where you yourself, Mr. Meterman, were loitering in the freezing winter air. That's where we found this soap.
Ah, I get it.
That's right. The answer, of course, is ice. Oh, he was using ice. Well, then what was the red thing that was in there? Was that the poison? Do I have poison in my pocket?
Did you say ice?
Mr. Shamspear has been leaving soaps like this outside his window each evening, filled with water. After a night outside in the bitter cold, the water is completely frozen solid the next morning.
Then he takes his fake coins of ice and feeds them into the gas meter, giving him light and warmth in spades. As his room becomes very comfortably warm, the ice now inside the meter's coin box melts,
Turning back into water, and draining harmlessly away through the small hole made in the underside of the meter.
Better 3D printing a fidget toy? Nice.
That is how, without leaving any evidence of his wrongdoing, this man has been stealing Altamont gas.
Usually when everyone goes silent like that, it's not good for me.
Just like that, so simply. Is he trying to make us look like idiots? He's been fooling us all with some bars of soap and some water.
That's right, madam.
I don't believe it. It can't be true. Do you have any idea how much money we spent to develop that new meter? And now you have the audacity to suggest that a bit of soap and water can render it totally useless?
I'm fairly sure I didn't design it.
Evidence!
Sorry?
I want evidence. If you want to stand there and tell me our meters are rubbish, I want to see proof.
Spirit to stare at my printer. Before I go, I still wanted to step on me. Thank you for your final thoughts, Waffle. We'll see you later.
She's very good at enforcing accountability, isn't she?
Very well, Lady Altamont. If you'd like evidence, I'll provide it.
What? Mr. Naruhodo, are you saying you do actually have evidence to support this theory?
I did notice a trace of something that bothered me a little at the time. And I have a feeling that this theory we've come up with now could explain it. A piece of evidence that substantiates the theory about how Mr. Shamspear is instilling gas is the photograph.
Take that!
Ow! This is a photograph of the scene at the point when the victim was discovered, taken by Inspector Gregson. And it clearly shows the remnants of the crime carried out by Mr. Shamspear.
What remnants?
Here you can see the gas meter on the wall in Mr. Shamspear's room. Now, look closely at the floorboards directly underneath the meter.
What is that? Some kind of grubby stain?
Almost certainly, it's a water stain resulting from the liquid that drained out of the hole made in the meter.
Ah!
If one coin gives around 2 hours of gas usage and the occupant was heating his room in all his waking hours, we can imagine he would have used around 10 of his fake coins each day. Melting ice inside the meter's coin box would have been dripping out almost constantly, leaving a stain on the floor.
This is awful.
And there's further evidence too. Mr. Shamspear is slumped over his table, apparently having consumed strychnine. And right here next to him is a bar of soap broken in half.
You're right.
It would appear to me then, Counsel, that the man was eating the soap, was he? That the man was eating the soap, was he?
Dumb bastard. Pardon me for disagreeing with your lordship, but certainly not.
He didn't beat about the bush there, did he?
In truth, Mr. Shamspear was found with a fork in his hand.
Your of soap is sounding increasingly likely, Lord Vanzi.
Do you mean to say it was using that fork to... Yes. To extract a frozen coin from the bar of soap.
Ah. But the bar broke in half. So perhaps it didn't go very well.
Gracious.
And there's another one. Fuck you.
The Lord Van Zeeks.
I was throwing my hand up in despair, and happened to catch my hallowed bottle on the way. Pray forgive my maladroit mistake.
What is the meaning of this, Counsel?
Allow me to pose my learned friend a question. What exactly did you establish with your most recent cross-examination?
Well...
That Mr. William Shamspear is a liar and a thief. In other words, that his testimony is unreliable.
That's it. That's exactly it.
Very well. Let us assume that the man is a liar. Now allow me to pose another question. What possible difference does that make?
Well,
We know that suicide can be discounted. Scotland Yard's investigation revealed no sign of another vessel that contained poison. And on the night in question, there were no visitors to the room except the accused. The young gasman's testimony, which we have no reason to doubt, has confirmed that. Furthermore, the only possible way the poison could have entered the victim's body is via the tea. The court has seen no evidence whatsoever that suggests otherwise. Oh, even if William Shamspeare is the liar you claim him to be, these facts have been objectively established. There's no escaping it. Therefore, in light of these facts, the prosecution calls for immediate adjudication.
you. What? The fucking time difference! Are you kidding me? It's the one thing that was accounted for that is no longer accounted for if he's a fucking liar. Come on.
Order, order! Well, counsel, how does the defense respond?
Mr. Nodohoro,
What was the point of that last cross-examination? Did it actually get us anywhere? Or did it make no difference at all, like Lord Van Zeeks is saying? Ow. No, this isn't over. I'll eat loaf of bread. Hand? Yeah, if you want. Put bread in mouth. With various methods. Use your imagination, if you must. The defense will not rest.
What? But counsel, you've successfully explained everything. You've identified and substantiated the unscrupulous method employed by Mr. Shamspeare to consume gas. What more is there to discuss?
Lord Van Zeeks just highlighted 3 facts in order to make his point, but contrary to what he would have the court believe, not all of them have been objectively established at all.
What are you trying to say, my Nipponese friend?
At least one of those so-called facts is an assumption made due to a lack of evidence. The situation has changed now, following the cross-examination of the latest witness to take the stand.
Don't be absurd. What is this nonsense?
Yes, when you bring everything we've learned so far together and consider it as a whole, it's clear. There's a question that we now need to reconsider, namely... fuck. That's not what I wanted to see at all. I was hoping to see the time difference. I'm guessing it's the poison in the tea? And the reason I say that is because we don't have evidence that there actually was poison in the tea. There was just poison in his system. But the tea wasn't able to be looked at. So the point that the prosecution is making is that there was no container on site that held the poison. So it could only have been brought in by Mr. Natsume, but we actually don't know how it was brought in. We're just assuming. Was there another visitor as disproved by the testimony of the gas man? And was someone else responsible? I think can be proven by the fact that there was no container, so it wasn't suicide. And there was no other visitor. So I think it has to be the poison in the tea. I'm gonna go for it. Because it's the one thing we've assumed based on lack of evidence and not things we actually know. We've all been led to believe that the strychnine poison that afflicted Mr. Shamspeare was in the tea brought to him by Mr. Natsume, but that's conjecture at best.
Objection!
The victim has testified that nothing else passed his lips that night. There was no other possibility. And since there was no trace of the tea left at the scene, it couldn't be tested for the traces of the poison.
Objection!
Oh, he's a liar! As I said, the situation has changed. Because in fact, some of Mr. Natsume's tea was left at the scene. And a particular piece of evidence proves it.
Objection!
Oh, we're bringing this up. Okay.
A ludicrous claim. Scotland Yard detectives investigated the scene exhaustively. What evidence are you suggesting they missed? The defense has made a bold claim indeed. Very well, counsel. Present your proof. What evidence from the scene of the crime can tell us about the nature of the defendant's tea?
It's the pair of teacups, right?
Take that!
What exactly is this piece of evidence supposed to reveal about Mr. Natsume's tea?
Oh, it's not the tea? Well, I suspect it may possibly be related to the tea in some small way if we dig deep enough.
Then you'll be digging for a very long time indeed, my learned friend.
Oh,
Even at the bottom of the deepest chasm, you will find no sense in that absurd assertion.
it's not the tea? Sometimes I wish I could disappear down a deep chasm to escape his deep sarcasm.
And I advise you to think more deeply before you answer again this time.
Not that. Oops. Medical report, maybe? Oh! No. No, that's not it. I was gonna say the fact that he drank the tea. He drank the tea cold, he says, would be false because the room is hot, but the room wouldn't heat the tea, so that doesn't really make sense. It might be that. It's really a stretch. But if it's not that. Drop a safety save here. I mean, it still could be that, but what evidence from the scene of the crime can tell us about the nature of the defendant's tea? I can't believe it's not this. I guess I'll try this. I don't think anything else even comes close to fitting. I just don't know what about this is important. I'll give it a shot. We have the safety save.
Take that!
Nope, that's not it either. What the fuck am I looking for? Is there something in here? Whoever opened this envelope didn't bother with a letter opener or scissors, did they? Yes, whoever opened it was clearly someone with an unrefined temperament. And judging from the angle of the rip here, the person in question must have been right-handed. Mr. Sato, I think perhaps someone's been reading too much of the adventures of Herlock Sholmes. You can never read too much of it, Mr. Harunoto. Naruhodo? Never! Okay. It's not that. That has nothing to do with anything. And it's not the bar of soap. I have no idea what the soap would have to do with anything. Oof, I'm lost, chat. I need help. I am taking suggestions. 'Cause I have no fucking idea. If it's not the tea or stuff about the poison, I do not know what I'm looking for. Is it the fucking gas meter? Some of Mr. Natsume's tea was left at the scene, and a particular piece of evidence proves it. So we're looking for some of the tea. That's the teacup. It's right there. It's on the rim. Oh, I'm lost on this one. I have no fucking idea. I just might have to present things randomly. Is it this kettle? But Natsume said that he brought a pot of boiling water with him. So it's not that. I could try that. I don't see how it could be. That's the, I mean, that's the closest thing I have to an idea. Fuck it, let's go for it.
Take that!
Nope, it's not that either. Alright, I'm gonna load that save and get some of my life back here because I'm truly fucking lost. I know it's gonna take me more trial and error here. I guess I'll try the fucking soap? Or the meter? Let's try the soap.
Take that!
What? What the fuck about the soap has anything to do with this?
Good gracious! There's soap again, the same bar the victim used to fashion his coins of ice.
Yes, that's right, my lord. It's just come back to me. Something about when we first found this bar of soap at the scene yesterday.
It's more bars of soap.
Soap? What are bars of soap doing lined up on a ledge outside the window? I'm quite certain that when we originally stumbled upon the bars of soap, there was actually a frozen coin in each bar. So you discovered the gas thief's coin factory. Fascinating. In a way, yes, but there's more. The coins we found in the soap at the time weren't normal ice.
There was something strange about them, you mean?
Exactly, something very obviously strange. Ow. They were red.
The ice was red.
No. You mean... That's right. It's obvious to me now.
Ow, I gotta stop doing that.
The fake coins in the soap were made from frozen tea. What? Why? Why would he do that? Did he have no other access to water? You mean to tell me this motherfucker... Natsume brought his tea to him, he left, poured the tea into the mold, put it outside, took it back out, and then put it in the thing, and then I guess somehow drank one of them? Why?
That doesn't make any fucking sense. Why wouldn't he have just a jug of water that he would use? What would possess the man to do that? Sure. All right. We're going with it. What? I remind the court of a statement made by Mr. Natsume earlier in this trial. That evening, yes, I did take some freshly brewed tea with me when I visited Mr. Shamspeare's room as a gift. The public water pump outside always freezes at night, so I brought bottled water especially to make it. This is all predicated on the idea that this guy wouldn't have coins ready to go. Right? Like he wouldn't have those soap bars filled with water in the morning when the pump's not frozen. This is presuming that every time he uses the gas, he goes and gets a little bit of water, puts it out, and then immediately just waits. Why would he not have those ready to go? This is a fucking stretch, even for Ace Attorney. And this is the result. Never will I touch tea again. Never! This might make more sense as this goes along, but this is bafflingly stupid so far.
Yes, I believe there had been a snowfall that day. It was particularly cold. Sadly, on such occasions, the poorly constructed water mains in the East End are prone to freezing.
So on the night in question, Mr. Shamspeare, having no running water to use, was forced to use the tea brought by Mr. Natsume in order to make his fake coins. Cool. Once again, doesn't make sense. Why wouldn't he have it ready to go? Also, that directly fucks us over. Are you sure you don't want any banana sludge? I'm good. Sludge is not typically a texture I enjoy.
My word!
I gotta stop doing that. There were 2 bars of soap on the window ledge when my judicial assistant and I investigated the scene. But it's bread now? Well, then it's not sludge, is it? My point stands.
That's right, and we only poured one of them.
Which means that even as we speak, some of the defendant's tea is still present at the scene of the crime, frozen solid in a bar of soap outside Mr. Shamspeare's window.
Extraordinary!
Earlier today, Inspector Gregson informed the court that if even 1 drop of the tea remained, Scotland Yard would be able to analyze it for poison. As such, we are now in a position to prove or disprove what has until now been mere conjecture, by finding out for sure whether or not Mr. Natsume's tea actually contains strychnine at all. You smug Nipponese.
Why?
My lord, we cannot do the defendant the injustice of passing judgment now. The police should be dispatched to recover the remaining bar of soap from the scene at once, and the defense requests a thorough analysis of the frozen tea embedded in it, to determine whether or not it contains any poison.
Bailiff! Bailiff! Instruct the police to attend the scene at once.
Yes, my lord, understood.
Well, is there poison in it?
It seems we have no choice but to suspend these proceedings for the time being. I trust you have no objection, Lord Van Zeeks?
None, my lord.
Scotland Yard will recover the tea from the scene and carry out the requisite tests immediately.
Might not have the coins on the ready if he doesn't have enough soap? I mean, maybe, but like, he came home, or he was there, right? And Natsume brought over tea. So this all assumes that from the time Natsume showed up, his bars of soap were empty, and he had no ice. Apparently he got distracted play fighting Sosuke and didn't get the water what he meant to. I mean, maybe? But like, it's just weird to me that he wouldn't have that ice ready to go and he would do it in the moment. That's just extremely strange to me. Could use snow for all he wanted. Like, there's snow outside on the ground. He could have brought it in, melted it, and then just used it as, brought it back outside to freeze as water. But it's tremendously weird that he would get all the way to that point and then just be like, oh, whoops, I have no water and ice ready to go. when there are 3 bars of soap there at all times. Like, you would think you would go and refill those in the morning, but I don't know, whatever. It just seems really unlikely.
The trial will resume at the same hour tomorrow. Prosecution and defense may conduct further investigations as appropriate in the interim.
Yes, my lord. It's plausible, but it's just really dumb, even for Ace Attorney standards. This is on the level of, like, Edgeworth not saying all the things he saw at the end of the first game. Right? Where it's just like, he could have just told us everything that happened, but just chose not to. This is, like, above that, but not much further. Well, we managed to scrape through there somehow.
Thank you, counsels. Court is adjourned until tomorrow.
Alright, I'm hoping this isn't to be continued. Sounds like it, because the... Yep. Alright. Well. We struggled through. We get to live another day. That will be it for this episode of Great Ace Attorney, because my throat hurts. We will be switching to Project Wingman, so over YouTube. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And we'll see you next time.